Hello and welcome to 168 Hours. I'm your host Malak Ahmad Fayaz, and in this week's edition we'll be covering the most significant news stories from the past 7 days. Stay tuned. President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu states the Development Bank of Maldives (DBM) would be an important hub for investors in Maldives. He made the statement during his meeting with 2 members to be appointed to the board of directors of DBM and its chairman and chief operating officer (CEO). Prior to his meeting with the 2 individuals, President Muizzu, in a special message shared on social media, stated that this is an important and historic step towards boosting the economy of Maldives. He assured that the bank would be established very soon and that investments on major projects will follow it. He went on to note that the Development Bank of Maldives would become an investment hub for investors in the tourism industry, resort construction, renewable energy, real estate and housing. The president reiterated the establishment of a development bank is one of the most important parts of the government's manifesto to expand and diversify the Maldivian economy. DBM was established in May 2024 with the aim to enhance the attractiveness of foreign currency deposits within the domestic banking system. The bank's mission is to invest in sustainable economic and social development, raise funds for infrastructure projects aligned with government policies, and address challenges in financing public sector investment program (PSIP) projects through syndication finance. President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu has assured that the bank's operations would be managed effectively to achieve these objectives. He has also emphasized that DBM board would consist of top regional experts, including international financial specialists, ensuring that the bank is guided by individuals with extensive global experience. The government disclosed the identification of 2 candidates for the CEO through a foreign recruitment agency earlier this month. Additionally, 2 experienced professionals from major international banks were also appointed to the board of MDB earlier this month, following 3 more appointments in the last week. The application for the bank's operating license has been submitted to the Maldives Monetary Authority (MMA), and efforts are underway to secure suitable building for the bank's operations. The government decides to bring transformations to the national health insurance system with a focus on enhancing societal welfare.
Asanda Company Limited, which is responsible for providing health insurance to all citizens, currently administers a system that delivers services uniformly to all individuals, regardless of their socio-economic status. This approach has led to inefficiencies and challenges in delivering services in a sustainable and cost-effective manner. The government's financial support to Asanda has been progressively increasing, with contributions rising from $116.7 million in 2023 to $123 million this year. As the government expenditures on Asanda services continue to grow, concerns have been raised about the sustainability of these expenditures. Experts have urged for reforms to address the wasteful expenses within the system. Therefore, the government has decided to undertake necessary reforms to Asanda, aiming to reduce inequality gap in providing healthcare services and stabilize the economy. Speaking on the government's decision to commence the efforts to bring reformations to the Asanda system on October, Minister of Finance Dr. Muhammad Shafiq acknowledged the essential role of Asanda for residents and assured that any changes will be implemented only after thorough consultation with the public, ensuring that no modifications will adversely affect residents. The minister reiterated the government's commitment to reducing wasteful expenditures associated with Asanda. Furthermore, Minister Dr. Shafiq outlined the government's efforts to identify and eliminate wasteful spending within Asanda. The minister added that efforts are ongoing to ensure the provision of financial assistance to individuals seeking assistance for treatment. He stated that an important step of this initiative will include stopping the various ways in which the company incurs wasteful expenses. He further revealed that if an individual has an alternative health insurance, Asanda will cover only the remaining costs not covered by the other insurance.
Vice President Hussein Mohammad Latif states that President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu has prioritized the advancement of human resources and capacity building with the government and state institutions, particularly at leadership level, since assuming office. The Vice President made the remarks while speaking at the official launch event of the second training cohort of the Maldives Leadership Program, known as the Maldives Executive Leadership Program.
Speaking at the ceremony, Vice President Latif extended sincere gratitude on behalf of the Maldivian government to the President of United Arab Emirates and ruler of Abu Dhabi, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Prime Minister and Vice President of the United Arab Emirates and ruler of Dubai, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, and the Vice President and Deputy Prime Minister of UAE, Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed Al Nahyan, as well as to the government of the UAE for their unwavering support and invaluable assistance to the Maldives' development agenda over the past decades. Continuing his remarks, the Vice President stated that the government recognizes the importance of developing future-ready government leaders and policymakers equipped with the knowledge, skills and best practices necessary to adapt to global changes and transformations. He added that the government is committed to developing the leadership skills and making them change agents within the government who can engage, lead, innovate and enhance the government's success. He stated that it is with this understanding the government is committed to building institutional capabilities and enhancing organizational performance through collaborative initiatives and joint efforts with friendly and neighboring countries. The Maldives Executive Leadership Program, launched on August 26th, consists of two-day workshops conducted in the Maldives, focusing on better policy making and strategic leadership. The two-day session will cover 2 of the 5 modules included in the program. As part of the program, participants will complete a portion of their training in the UAE and visit selected government agencies, gaining valuable insights into the reform and modernization programs undertaken by UAE government authorities.
President Dr. Mohammed Moiz, who assumed office on November 17th last year, outlines the country's current social and economic challenges in clear terms.
The President highlighted that the previous administration's currency printing and debt accumulation have pushed the nation into an economic crisis. As such, he vowed to address these issues and revitalize the economy. The government is currently working to improve the current situation, with President Dr. Moiz stating that the economic difficulties will be resolved by November this year. He also emphasized that every decision made by the administration will prioritize the well-being of the citizens and the nation. President Dr. Moiz is also committed to empowering the youth as a key strategy for tackling socio-economic challenges. He pledged to provide housing and employment opportunities to ensure economic prosperity and a better quality of life for the younger generation, stressing that youth empowerment is a top priority of the government's agenda. He reiterated that these commitments form a significant part of his manifesto. Addressing the critical issue of housing, which concerns every citizen, President Dr. Moiz pledged to resolve the issue within the next 5 years. He assured that by the end of this term, every citizen will have access to housing. Despite the criticism from the opposition regarding his ability to fulfill these pledges, given the worsening economic situation of the Maldives, the President remains confident that he will deliver on his pledges to the citizens. The government is also addressing major social issues in the Maldives, including the issues of illegal foreigners and drug-related crimes. As such, several measures are being implemented to identify and deport illegal immigrants and to curb unlawful businesses. In addition, significant legal reforms are underway to combat gang violence and drug trafficking.
The Maldives strongly condemns and denounces the recent statement by an Israeli minister calling for the construction of a synagogue inside the holy Al-Aqsa Mosque.
The Al-Aqsa Mosque holds immense spiritual and historical significance for over 1.8 billion Muslims worldwide. It is not only a revered place of worship but also a symbol of Islamic heritage. The Maldives calls on the government of Israel to respect the historical and legal status of the Al-Aqsa Mosque in accordance with international law and relevant United Nations resolutions. Such provocative statements made by senior officials of the Israeli government undermines the efforts to reach a ceasefire in the Gaza Strip and has the potential of fueling religious conflict and causing further instability in the Middle East region. Furthermore, The Maldives calls on the international community to urgently intervene to prevent any action that could change the legal status of Jerusalem and its holy sites and take all the necessary measures to protect the rights of the Palestinian people. It stands in firm solidarity with the Palestinian people in the pursuit of their inherent right to self-determination, reiterating its calls for the establishment of a sovereign and independent state of Palestine as per the pre-1967 borders with East Jerusalem as its capital.
Minister of Economic Development and Trade Mohammed Said disclosed that the state was able to save $1 billion during the past 6 months. The minister noted this was the results of the measures taken by the state to recover the Maldivian economy.
Speaking at a program of PSMNEWS, Minister Said highlighted that the Maldivian economy was deteriorating at a quick pace when President Dr. Mohammed Moise took to office. He added that the mismanagement of the state funds had led to irreversible damages. He stated that the current administration has been able to save $1 billion in 6 months and increase the Sovereign Development Fund to $60 million. Minister Said noted that the previous government had printed money worth $521 million within 3 years. He also noted the government debt was increased to a historic level during the past government's 5-year tenure and stated that these debts have not helped increase the government revenue but has led to the state-owned enterprises to go bankrupt. Furthermore, Minister Said went on to say that the ministry is working tirelessly to repay the debts and increase the state revenue, even with all the burdens it had to take on since taking office in November 2023. He added that the operation of the Development Bank of Maldives will stimulate the economy and increase state revenue. The minister also noted the financial center to be developed in Funadu is progressing steadily. He also highlighted that the bunkering services in the north will be commenced in September 12th. He noted that these services will boost economic growth and highlighted that these development plans are being executed without defaulting on debt. Minister Said assured that the government will not allow the state debt to increase without control for a second time.
Minister of Fisheries and Ocean Resources Ahmad Shyam emphasizes that adhering to fishing quotas is a key strategy for increasing state revenue. He made the statement following his participation in the 36th session of the G16 like-minded states of the Indian Ocean.
During the session, Minister Shyam highlighted the significance of such meetings, noting that the participation of various countries demonstrates a collective commitment to protecting ocean resources. He also announced that the Maldives will host a similar meeting in the near future, providing a platform for these nations to strengthen their voices within the Indian Ocean Tuna Commission (IOTC). Speaking to PSMNews, Minister Shyam underscored the importance of these discussions for the Maldives, a strong advocate of sustainable fisheries. He mentioned that other countries could benefit from the Maldives' approach to fisheries management. The upcoming meeting will focus on discussing fishing quotas for Indian Ocean countries, with Minister Shyam expressing hope that the quotas will be set fairly, taking into consideration the fisheries sector of each nation. Additionally, Minister Shyam emphasized that adhering to these quotas is crucial for long-term sustainability, warning that failure to do so could have negative consequences. He noted by fishing within the assigned quotas, the state can not only secure its current revenue, but also create opportunities to increase its quotas in the near future. The government has raised concerns about the country's current fishing levels, which currently fall short of meeting the IOTC's quota of 47,000 tons for tuna fisheries. In response, the government plans to implement strict regulations on line fishing to ensure the quota is met. Efforts are also underway to involve more locals in the fisheries industry, with regulated line fishing set to commence in February.
Minister of Economic Development and Trade Mohammed Said expresses confidence in amendments proposed to the Tax Administration Act, such that tax are paid in dollars to significantly boost the state revenue. Speaking at the press conference, Minister Said stated that the implementation of the amendments will increase the state revenue through tax by $40 million to $80 million. Therefore, the minister revealed the government's efforts to bring the necessary amendments promptly and ensure the enforcement as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Minister of Fisheries and Ocean Resources Ahmad Shyam recognized the dollar shortages experienced during the previous administration's tenure. However, he criticized the responsive actions of the previous government, stating that it tried to resolve the issue by printing money instead of exerting efforts to reduce the state expenditures. Experts have also attributed the current dollar shortages to the actions of the previous administration, lauding the current government's efforts to increase foreign currency reserves. During the media address, Minister of Foreign Affairs Musa Zamir stressed that critics have been spreading rumors on the country's financial situation. The minister urged all individuals to refrain from spreading false rumors, reaffirming that the government will not make any decisions which will negatively impact the residents. Aiming to address the critical issue of dollar shortages, the government has decided to bring amendments to 3 legislations. The amendment to the Tax Administration Act will facilitate businesses that generate income in dollars by allowing them to make governmental payments in dollars. It will also enable companies earning revenue in dollars to pay corporate income tax in the same currency. The government has been striving to improve the financial situation of the economy in various ways, including the stoppage of printing money. The government's efforts have to improve the status of the economy has been lauded by the International Monetary Fund (IMF) as well. President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu highlights the Sinamale Bridge as a powerful symbol of the close bilateral relations between the Maldives and China, as well as the shared developmental aspirations of both nations.
In a social media post commemorating the 6th anniversary of the Sinamale Bridge, also known as the China-Maldives Friendship Bridge, President Dr. Muizzu described the bridge as a remarkable engineering achievement that stands as a testament to the enduring partnership and mutual trust between the Maldives and China. He emphasized that the bridge embodies a shared vision of progress, unity and prosperity, and will continue to serve as a beacon of cooperation for future generations. Minister of Construction and Infrastructure, Dr. Abdullah Muttalib, also underscored the transformative impact of the Sinamale Bridge on the lives of Maldivians and the nation's economic development. He noted that the bridge redefined the possibilities for infrastructure in the Maldives, paving the way for sustained economic growth and stability. The minister lauded the leadership of President Dr. Muizzu, who, as the then Minister of Housing and Infrastructure, played a key role in the projects ahead of schedule and within budget completion. The Sinamale Bridge, a 1.3 kilometer long and 20.3 meter wide structure, is celebrated as the most extraordinary engineering project in the Maldivian history. Officially inaugurated on August 30, 2018, the bridge was completed 25 days ahead of the deadline.
Minister of Economic Development and Trade Mohammad Said praises the government's commitment to continuing over 2,000 projects across the country despite the current financial constraints.
In a recent program aired on PSMNEWS, Minister Said emphasized that President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu had clearly outlined his plans to address the financial and economic challenges facing the nation in his first presidential address to the parliament. The president's vision includes strengthening the finances of indebted companies, addressing societal issues, and reducing the Maldives' dependency on external sources, all while avoiding increased state debt and ensuring the repayment of existing debts without hindering the developmental projects. Minister Said highlighted that of the 3,052 projects initiated, 2,048 are currently ongoing across various parts of the country. He also revealed that the government is prepared to launch an additional 1,853 projects with agreements already in place. Furthermore, the minister lauded President Dr. Muizzu's effort over the past 9 months to drive economic development. Notably, he mentioned that the Development Bank of Maldives is set to be licensed soon, and the Financial Center Act has been drafted and will soon be presented to the Parliament for approval. Minister Said also discussed significant ongoing projects, including the transfer of the fuel storage facility from Funadu in Kaf Atoll to Margarifaru. He assured that the development of the Special Economic Zone (SEZ) will be completed within the current presidential term and noted that the Maldives Gateway project is set to commence shortly. The president plans to utilize the profits from these projects to further enhance economic development in the country.
The Ministry of Social and Family Development affirms its commitment to ensuring that people with disabilities are given suitable jobs under the government's policy aimed at inclusive recruitment.
While individuals with disabilities have previously been employed in various positions, concerns have been raised about the appropriateness of these roles. This mismatch often creates challenges for individuals with disabilities, hindering their ability to perform their duties effectively. Speaking to PSM News, Minister of State for Social and Family Development Ahmad Atif revealed that the ministry has organized a special session to explore and create more suitable employment opportunities for individuals with disabilities. This session will focus on identifying the challenges faced by these individuals in the workplace, enhancing employment opportunities, teaching necessary skills, and conducting relevant training. The ministry is also working to ensure that the work environments are suitable for these individuals. State Minister Atif further explained that when a company recruits a person with disabilities for the first time, the ministry will assess the work environment in advance to ensure it meets the required standards. Ensuring that people with disabilities are provided with suitable employment opportunities is a key priority of the government. The ministry is currently developing a database containing essential information about people with disabilities to facilitate this initiative.
Managing Director of Feneka Corporation Limited, Muaz Mohammad Rashid, announces the corporation has paid off $51 million of its outstanding debts.
At the time the current government assumed office, Feneka had a total debt of $278.9 million, primarily owed to the State Electric Company Limited, Stelco, and various private enterprises. In an interview with PSMNEWS, Muaz revealed that the debt payments prioritized small and medium enterprises (SMEs) with dues settled for over 280 parties. Despite these efforts, the remaining debt stands at $265.9 million, largely due to significant obligations to Stelco. Muaz anticipates that Feneka will complete all outstanding payments by 2027. Additionally, President Dr. Mohammad Muiz has directed State Trading Organization (STO) to acquire all shares of Feneka and integrate it as a subsidiary by the end of this year. This transition process is underway, with Feneka set to operate under STO from January next year, following an independent audit to assess its condition. During this period, STO will conduct financial and legal due diligence, evaluate Feneka's assets, and implement restructuring plans with guidance from the Ministry of Finance. STO's takeover aims to enhance Feneka's management and continue profitable projects contracted to the corporation. Muaz noted that this change is expected to significantly reduce oil import expenses and improve overall management, while Feneka will continue to provide efficient services to the residents.
And that's a wrap for this week's 168 Hours. Thank you for tuning in to PSM News. We'll be back next week with more updates on the most important events and developments. Have a great week ahead.
ವ್ಯಾಪಾರಿಗೆ ದಾಯಿರಾಯಿ ಹಫ್ತಾತೆರೆಗ ಫಾಹಕೊಲ್ಲವೆ ಮುಹಿಮ್ಮ ಮೌಲೂಮಾತ ವ್ಯಾಪಾರಿ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟಕುಂ
ದಂಡುವರಿಕಂಗೆ ಸಿನಾತುಗೆ ಮಸಕೆತಕುಂ ಬಾಜಾರನ್ನಿರೆ ಮುದಾ
ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಸೈಟುಗ ಗ್ಯಾಗಣಕ ಹೈಸತೇಕ ಮಿಲಿಯನ್ ಅಮೆರಿಕಾ ಡಾಲರ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಕುರ್ಮಾ
ಅಮಿನ್ನೆ ವ್ಯಾಪಾರಿಯ ಫಶಾ ಎ ವ್ಯಾಪಾರಿತ ಕಾಮಯಾಬ್ ವ್ಯಾಪಾರ